If we, if you'll please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, Mr. Basile. Mr. Janice. Here. Mr. White.
here.
Mr. Monahan.
Here.
Supervisor Finn.
Here. Okay, public input, we have 4 people to speak. We'll go, Mike Ehlers first. Mr. Ehlers, looking sharp tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Before I start, I have a couple.
It's never gonna take.
Good evening, everyone. I have a couple things I'd like to pass out. Mike Ehlers, 16 Jenkins Avenue. I'm here tonight as a curious and concerned Stony Point resident. I am also a leading advocate of Stony Point Skate Park. I sit on the Stony Point Skate Park Committee, and I'm not here as a representative of, but I am an advisory board member of the Police Athletic League. But I am not here, and I'm here as a resident tonight. But what I'd like to do, I want to touch on 2 subjects. There have been 2 developments over the weekend that I'm curious about, and I provided copies for each of the gentlemen. Bear with me. All right. I'm just going to put them up here. And we can... Okay. As you know, there's been an overwhelming support for Stony Point Skate Park. In recent times, many people have reached out to Senator William Larkin, asking him if Stony Point Skate Park is going to receive the same assistance that Nyack Skate Park received from Senator Carlucci with a grant of $100,000. They want to know if we're going to receive the same assistance that Newburgh Skate Park has received with a grant for $100,000 from our own senator in our district. And we were a little surprised of the response from the email, and then someone put in the email on social media. So you can imagine, the curiosity and the talk and everything, and I would like to read that email. Thank you for your email on behalf of a skate park in Stony Point. I agree with you, this proposal will be a wonderful addition to the community and a great outlet for the children in the area. I wanted to let you know that in 2014, I awarded Stony Point a grant in the amount of $75,000 to assist with the construction of both a dog park and a skate park. Skate park will be adjacent to Vincent Clark Park. I believe both of these amenities will be wonderful additions to Stony Point, and I look forward to their completion. Thank you again for your email. If I can ever be of assistance to you, please do not hesitate to contact me. Sincerely, Senator William J. Larkin, Jr., 39th Senatorial District. So, when I saw that, you can imagine how, shocked and surprised I was, because I keep my ear to the ground on everything that goes on with this project, and, I didn't hear anything about that. So, coincidentally, on Thursday, I had spoken to Councilman Basile on the telephone to inquire about the dog park, because I was curious about the dog park, and I couldn't really seem to get any, solid answers of any plans, of any development, of any price. And I had asked him, Councilman, and this is why I'm confused, maybe there's a misunderstanding. I said, Councilman, did the dog park receive any assistance from the state? And the answer was no. So that was before this came out, and then when this came out, I was really, really surprised. So my questions on the email from Senator Larkin would be, when in 2014 did this happen? When was it announced? And how will these funds be split? Because clearly, it looks like in the email, the intentions of the senator was to split $75,000, and I'm curious to find out, how that is. And gentlemen, I'm familiar with reimbursement funds. And I realize that reimbursement funds are you spend the money and then you are reimbursed the funds. But I'm not familiar with how it works as far as when we know about it. And that's why the 2014 thing really got my attention. And I'd like to know when that happened and when it was announced. And that's, I'm not really going to elaborate too much more on the email. I would like to go into the next item that came up over the weekend, which was funny to me. It happened at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning on the web edition of the Rockland County Times. And the headline is pretty interesting. This headline is not a positive headline for a dog park. This headline is a negative headline for a skate park. And I'll read the headline to you. $75,000 dormitory authority grant will not go toward Stony Point Skate Park. And the article caught my attention. I'm not going to read the article, but there seems to be more of opinion and speculation in this article rather than factual information. Again, as I told you, I keep my feet to the ground. I know everything there is to know about the Nyack Skate Park campaign and the Newburgh Skate Park campaign. And when I hear in the article that the skate park isn't qualified, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, and I'd like to find out if maybe you can help prove that to me. And I'd also like to let everyone know that Newburgh Skate Park received a $100,000 grant from the same grant. And speaking in layman's terms, I think they're in the same boat as us. But we could look into that, and we could, we could figure that out. I also, the article, if I saw the author, Dale Skrillo, I'm all over this article, and I wasn't interviewed. I found that interesting. I found it interesting that Senator Larkin's office wasn't interviewed. I find it interesting that Supervisor Finn wasn't interviewed. And I find it interesting that there was no mention of the email, and I wonder if a grant was indeed awarded in 2014. Why is this article coming out on a Saturday morning at 11 o'clock in the morning after somebody posted the email on social media? I'd also like to know how far along the dog park is. How did they qualify? I'd like to know what type of price is involved in the dog park, what their timeline is. I'd like to know if they had a fundraising committee, if they had a dog park committee. I'm not here of a skate park versus dog park. I feel that both projects will be a plus for our community, but I want to make sure that everybody is getting what the senator intended everyone to get, and I want to make sure that everybody is qualified or not qualified for what we're saying that they may or may not be. Gentlemen, I'm not going to waste too much more of your time because I realize that this is a public input meeting, and I think I've touched base on everything that I wanted to cover, and I would just be very interested to hear your views on this.
Supervisor Finn, if you're right, I just
Absolutely.
touch base with Mike. How you doing, Mike?
I'm not bad. I'm not bad. I just feel great.
Good.
As a matter of fact.
I'll just give you a quick little background that I know. I see Councilman Basili's not here.
Yes.
Okay, back March 11th, 2014, at this town board meeting, Supervisor Finn and the entire board passed a resolution to form a dog park advisory committee. It was here at a town board meeting. What that committee consisted of is 5 Stony Point town residents who volunteered to work on a dog park committee, and 2 town board members. Councilman Basili and I volunteered myself. The committee went out, they did great work. They went around, they visited locations in Stony Point where we could put a dog park. They spoke to residents. They went out and visited dog parks. I'm both a skateboard lover and a dog lover.
Myself as well.
But I never really had, I never took my dog to a dog park. So we went out and we actually took a look at some of these parks. And I was very impressed. There was one I visited. When you walked up, you didn't even realize there was a dog park there. They had beautiful hedging, and they had landscaping. And you walked to the park. I walked in and there were 15 people there. And I was one of the things I was concerned about, naturally noise from the dogs. But it's not like where you got a bad neighbor who ties up a dog in the backyard. But anyway, so they did a lot of research. And then one of the big concerns is here in Stony Point, we have to keep our taxes low, you know? So one of the things they did, they formed a nonprofit through the Rockland County Foundation in an effort to get donations to build a park at the lowest cost they can. They're also looking to maybe have people, if they want to donate benches for the park, water stations. This committee, I really want to thank them for the hard work that they did. Okay, so then what happened was, I had spoken to Senator Larkin whenever I ran into him, and I did exactly what you would do. I said, Senator, is there any grants available for a skate park, for a dog park? Because, you know, it's not about a skate park or a dog park. It's about, you know, when I was out running for office and walking and talking to residents, you know, they all said, you know, what do we have here in Stony Point? And he wanted, you know, things for the parks, and these are suggestions that residents want. So I said, is there a grant? I don't care, private, public. And I know Councilman Basili spoke with Senator Larkin, and it was informed that there may be a grant available through, never heard of it, the Dormitory Authority.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Okay, so that's what we did. So now, there's like a lot of misconception, and I'm sure Karen will tell you, the town of Stony Point, we haven't received a check. I heard a number of $75,000.
Yeah, it's a reimbursement grant.
Yeah, it's a reimbursement grant. So what's going to happen is, when if this dog park comes to be, you have to show the cost for fencing, the cost, and that's when you'll be reimbursed. So right now, there's not a set cost on this dog park.
That's good, but how come the dog park doesn't have to have a set cost and the skate park does?
You know what? Here's the problem, Mike. I'm not the dog.
I understand.
Right?
I understand.
The dog park, the dog park committee, every one of them loves children and they support the skateboard park. But it's not them, they didn't get a check for $75,000 and say, hey, we're not giving this to the skate park.
No, I know.
They haven't gotten a penny of it.
No, I know.
So what I'm told is that the money has to be spent right away. So if the dog park is gonna qualify for this grant, they have to spend the money in a short, reasonable time, and then we'll be reimbursed. I wish Councilman Basili was here,
Me too.
because unfortunately he couldn't be here. But, you know, you gotta understand, here's Councilman Basili asking for a grant for your skate park. And now people are upset that he didn't get it. I think who you should be talking to is the Door Authority and also Senator Larkin.
I agree.
And what I'm going to say with it, you know, I don't want to keep going on about it, but I know this board has been working hard together to supervise the entire board. And we're going to fight for a grant for this skate park. And we're going to talk to the legislators, and we're going to talk to, but, you know, we can fight for it, Mike, and that I'll do for you.
I appreciate it.
But, you know, it's not us who decides where this money comes from, or how it's spent, or how much.
I know that.
It took us over 3 years to get a pigeon school.
And
We don't have.
and just to, yeah, thank you, Susan, that grant is not here either.
You know, these grants are thrown, you know, that's why I don't believe it till I see it, Mike.
All right, let me get my 2 cents.
Go ahead, go ahead.
All right. First of all, we have a letter from December 2014 from Senator Larkin's office, I'm sorry, from DASIT, which is the Dormitory Authority, State of New York. Here, Mr. Finn, as you know, the town of Stony Point has been approved by the state to receive a state municipal facilities program grant for the above referenced project in the amount of $75,000. And the project is construction of a skate park and dog park. So we're all in agreement on that. The difference here is that it says we've been approved for it. Now, again, as Councilman Monahan just said, being approved and receiving a check is a totally different thing. And matter of fact, being approved and being awarded a grant is actually a totally different thing as well. So in Senator Larkin's email today, wherever this came from, Mike just handed me, I'm noticing that it says, I agree with you that this proposal would be a wonderful addition to the community and a great outlet for the children in the area. I wanted to let you know that in 2014, I awarded Stony Point a grant in the amount. That's not the word to use. Appointing and awarding is one thing. The state, we'll call it DASNY, has to be the people who hand out this money. We do not, the 5 board members up here do not make a decision whether $50,000 goes to the skate park and 25 to the dog or vice versa or anything like that. We don't make that decision. The state tells us where that's going to go. We do have to foot the money first and then be reimbursed for any grant. Whether it be the $3 million grant that we've been awarded for the New York Rising, that was one of our biggest concerns. We don't have $3 million to spend and then get reimbursed. So what they're doing with that, and I don't want to bore you with it, but they're opening a separate account where it goes in and won't cost our taxpayers a dime. And we're moving along with that. But as far as this goes, like I said, the 5 of us have no say where it goes. However, I sent an email requesting that someone come from Senator Larkin's office. I know they're very busy. I know that. I think that's where you're going to get your answers from, Mike, most of them. I know we've had conversations and
Yeah,
talked
I
about
tried to
this.
get them here too.
I will go back to January 28th of 2014, more than a year ago, that we, let me jump, I'm jumping ahead. Had a conversation with Councilman Vasili, and he did apologize for not being here. He did have somewhere to be tonight. I know this was planned a long time ago. I know there's been a couple of comments that, oh yeah, he's not coming. It has nothing to do with this, trust me. I'm not here to defend him either, but I will say he's not here for that reason. But the conversation I had with him was that the 75,000 is what I understood, and I believe that's what Tom told me today, was going to go to the park for, I think, the same reasons that we're discussing here today. But that can only be answered through Senator Larkin's office. What we did in 2014, in January 28th, is that we took $15,000 from town budgeted money and budgeted that towards the beginning of the dog park, the construction phase of the dog park. Now, that is before we knew any grants were a possibility of coming down here, whether it be $75,000 or $1. That being said, I'm going to make a motion here tonight, and I think, I know I spoke to a few board members as well, that $15,000, we figure if the dog park is going to be receiving upwards of $75,000 or less. I know the original prices that I heard on the dog park were in the $40,000 range, I believe, early on. So if that's the case, I'm going to ask the board to make a motion. When we start, can I make a motion now in this part of the meeting?
There's only one quick problem with that. Just one. There's been none of that money, this 15,000 that we're talking about, that's the same as having the golf course budget or the highway budget. This is just money that is put in the budget that in the future may be used. So there was no money spent on budgeted on the dog park of the town's money for an architect or anything like that. That 15,000 was put in the budget, not spent to be used towards the dog park.
Right. Now, and Councilman Monahan just said that has not been spent yet. But with the 75,000, that it looks like that's coming down to the dog park, what we're going to do is make a suggestion to rescind the 2014 January 28th motion. That part of the motion was numbered Section 2, line 3, or Section 2-3. The Stony Point, the town of Stony Point will budget $15,000 for the purchase of materials and the construction of the facility, with specific expenditures to be approved by the town board at a later date, which is what Councilman Monahan just said. Not a penny has been spent on that, by the way. However, I'm going to rescind that motion. I'll make a motion to that portion, yes, Section 2-3. I will rescind that $15,000 in a motion to come out of the line of the budget for the dog park. And we'll do 2 separate motions. That'll be my motion.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that?
Yeah, I'm confused.
Okay. What are you doing on that?
You're rescinding the amount we already set aside for budget.
We put $15,000 in the budget line for the dog park. I'm going to make a second motion to put it into a new line for the Stony Point skateboard park, because they're waiting, the grant money is coming down to cover the cost of the dog park. So if we could switch that $15,000 over to this.
I'm all good with that. I think it's a great idea, as long as these grants come through. You know, you're putting something. It's the same thing with you're waiting on the rising community money. You know, I think we're all in agreement with this board that anything we can do.
I have not been assured.
to move it forward.
I've been assured from Senator Larkin's office, but I was assured this afternoon that this money is coming. Again, I don't have anything in writing on that. but I was assured that it was coming. Unfortunately, I was assured that it was all going to the dog park this afternoon.
I guess financial director, can't we just reallocate the money?
Do a budget transfer.
Yeah.
Okay, budget
Well, we're going to have to pass it. We've already budgeted.
Two separate motions, sending.
All right, first motion is to take the $15,000 from section 2-3 on the motion, on the January 28, 2014 resolution, and take the $15,000 that was budgeted towards the dog park and budget it to a line of the Stony Point PAL. Stony Point PAL is covering the skateboard park. Yes, per use of the skateboard park. And that being said, I had a conversation with Mr. Ayers, Mr. Krieger, and lawyer Ralph Hevener the other day, and I know they're ready to go out for an RFQ, and that amount of money
Actually,
is right.
RFP for this.
RFP, I'm sorry, which would be approximately $15,000 to $20,000.
Which we already can afford at this point
Yes.
with our fundraising effort.
Well, we'd like to have you keep that in there for future construction and allow this $15,000 to be used for that. The RFP is to go out for the design.
The RFP, Carl, goes out for design of the skate park. And when,
Can you talk to me after?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, we won't get into that, but let's just go. You got the resolution, John?
Yeah, I think council.
Council, are you yelling at me?
Those right back up.
Yes, there'll be a resolution right now. He knows what it is.
So,
Okay, so there's been a motion, and I believe Mr. Chapman has seconded the motion for $15,000 to be budgeted from the dog line to the PAL line. I guess that was an easier way to say it. Okay. Is there any discussion? Any more discussion? All right, can you do a roll call?
sure. Councilman Jacobs.
Yes.
Councilman White.
Yes.
Councilman Monahan.
Yes.
Supervisor Finn.
Yes. Okay, that being said, we will be in contact with Senator Larkin's office until we see where the money is actually going and when it is going to be here. And we will, let me just see, I wrote something else down here. I guess what I really wanted to say is that I'm sure there's dog park people here, I'm sure there's skateboard people here. The five of us over here want both of these things to happen for our town. They're both very important to our town. And as Councilman Monahan said, when you're walking around the town, you're asking people, give us some ideas of what we can do for the town and the campaigns and whatnot. These are the things that come up, and that's the only reason these things start. So it starts from the people of Stony Point giving us ideas of what to do. And that being said, Mr. Ayers, who's never looked so good.
Well, I don't know about that.
I know we have, I'm not much of a Facebook guy, I do go on it, but I love when Mike is out there selling hats and shirts and everything else for this thing, and I believe they've raised almost $25,000 to $30,000, and I don't want to say single-handedly because I know you have a committee, but I could say I would assume that most of that came from the hard work of this gentleman standing in front of us, so I'd like to congratulate you.
I wanted to thank you for your time.
And I would just say one more thing. It takes things like this to get people to come out to meetings. Sometimes we sit here and there's 15 people in the crowd. I've been begging for 9.5 years. We need people to come out and hear what goes on at these meetings. And I'm not saying the newspapers get it wrong or anything else, but sometimes by the time you get there, it's old news or whatnot, because the paper doesn't come out Thursday, sometimes it's 2 days later. Facebook is the next minute. I'm sure someone's probably Facebooking right now that they're at this meeting. I know it. So please, come out. Don't let an item like this get you to come out. Keep coming out, see what goes on in the town. It's usually an hour in a week, an hour every 2 weeks. And we beg you to please come out and see what's going on, because that's how you get the real information. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks a lot.
And Mike, usually we yell at people, usually we have a 5-minute public input, so really
You just chose 4 minutes of Susan's time.
So Susan, you got 30 seconds.
Susan's not speaking tonight.
You're on here. George Botanovic.
George Botanovic, 597 on Gate Road, president of Space. I wanted to just mention, I thought Mike, you did a good presentation. I've been going to meetings for 25 years. I was going to say that Space is celebrating 25 years this year as a community organization. And while we don't always agree with everything the town does, what I like to see is I like to see people come out to town board meetings and participate in this process. This is what democracy looks like. And it's one of the reasons why we started Space in 1990, to be involved in some of the development issues in the town, and get people to participate in the process. And it makes me feel good when people show up to meetings and present themselves in a very organized way, the facts or the questions that they have, and that's the way to do things. And to show up and to hear firsthand, as the supervisor said, you know, what the real issues are and what the concerns are. This is what we should be doing. And I'm glad to see people out tonight. I just say that's a really great, makes me feel great to see it on any issue that's important to the people of the town. Spaces, as I mentioned, Space is celebrating 25 years this year. We met for the first time in February of 1990 in the Pinkin School for the first time. Lucian Conklin was there, and many other people that you might know. We're going to talk a little bit more about the history of Space in the future, but right now I just want to let everybody know that we're organizing to commemorate our 25th year and the 150th anniversary of the town of Stony Point. Space is organizing a sale on the Clearwater, the Hudson River Slope of Clearwater. That's going to be held on Monday, April 27th, from 3 in the afternoon until 6. There are flyers that I left on the glass case on the hallway back there. If you're interested in coming on the sale with us, you'll have the information on this flyer, or you can call or email us about that. We have a limit of 50 people, so if you're interested, let us know. But we have some other events that are going to be planned in meetings that we're going to plan this year, but I just wanted to say that to me it's important to commemorate this time because we put a lot of effort into those 25 years. A lot of meetings here, and a lot of planning board meetings. And I always believe that public participation is an important element in county government, as the supervisor was just saying, and I think it's important to recognize that and the people who make that commitment to be involved in local government. So thank you very much.
Thank you, George.
I need to leave.
Kerry Luzon. Is Kerry here? No, we're not talking about you, go ahead.
Okay. Carrie Luzon, 2B Miller Drive, in Stony Point. I was here 2 months ago about the spelling bee. I'm the spelling bee girl. And I just wanted to say thank you to you guys for your support. We successfully raised our sponsorship money, and we're sending a 5th grader to Washington. He's going to do amazing, I'm sure. So that's it. I just wanted to say thank you.
Excellent. Well, it's our pleasure to help send someone to Washington. Washington, you said?
Yes,
Washington,
D.C.
D.C. to go out and represent North Rockland High School, North Rockland community.
Yes,
So
thank
we
you.
congratulate that person. Whoever, we want to say his name?
His name is Shravan Mala. He's a student from Haverstraw Elementary School.
Excellent. It's great to have you. I had one more, but I see Susan's not here. Susan, okay. That's it on public inputs. We have order of bills. Order of bills. Oh, I'm sorry. The purchase order. Okay, that's good. The purchase order request. We're going to hold off to this. There's 2 items that are actually purchase orders that are on our agenda for the lift, and they're in here, so we'll pass this after we go through that. Okay. Order the bills. March 10th, 2015 minutes that we received.
Make a motion. Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Supervisor report. I'm just going to throw in a couple plugs here. I know we have some people left from the park. Hold on, Mike left. Where's Mike? We have a fundraiser. PAL is throwing a fundraiser benefit. Skateboard Park and Stony Point Police Athletic League. It's an illusionist. Ryan Dutcher, he's a one-man show. I call him a magician, but I guess they're calling me illusionist today. And that is on April 10th at Fieldstone Middle School, and that is, tickets are $15 for adults, $10 for children, 12 and under. So again, that's going to benefit a great cause, and part of that will go to the Stony Point skate park, so if you come out that day, that's a great cause. And this is on the town website, stonypoint.org as well. I believe it's on the police website. And of course, this Sunday, is it this Sunday? No, April 4th, one second. Two Saturdays. April 4th, the Easter egg hunt. Bagels with the Bunny and Easter egg hunt is at 10 o'clock at Kirkbride Hall. There'll be pictures, there's a bounce house, face painting, balloons, animals, more. balloon animals, not animals. So for more information, you call our Recreation Department 947-5261. And that's really all I have. I don't want to go too long. We accomplished a lot today so far. So I don't want to continue. Okay, Police Department report, Chief.
Go to item number 1.
Yeah, why don't we go straight to item number 1, which is a police item.
Good evening, Supervisor, members of the town board. As you're aware, we discussed retirement of Detective George Zayas after more than 25 years of service. As part of that process, the town replaced the police officer position, and I and my staff conducted interviews to replace the position of detective. And I would like to recommend to you tonight Pedro Garcia be promoted to the position of detective with the Stony Point Police Department. I would like to have a nomination for that.
Okay, I'll make a motion to promote Pedro Garcia to the rank of detective.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'll just say a few things.
That'll be effective Monday, March 30th.
March 30th, in fact.
Yes.
That's all. I will say a couple things. One, of course, we know how big shoes Pedro has to fill with George leaving, and George has been, 29 years, George? Okay, pretty close. And it definitely will be hard big shoes to fill, but we know in just a few years that I've known Pedro on the department here in Stony Point, I know that's it's going to be an easy task for him because he's a professional. He's always courteous and respectful to each and every person that he's ever run into, goes out of his way to say hello to people, and that just means a lot. It's a small town like Stony Point. So you're not voted yet, but I'm going to be the first to congratulate you. Okay. There's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Jacobs?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Monty?
Yes.
Supervisor Finn?
Yes.
I'd like to call Detective Garcia.
Yes. And I believe his family's here as well tonight, correct?
They are.
Family would like to stand up, give a little wave. We'll embarrass you a little.
Congratulations, Detective. Congratulations.
Okay. That's all you have, right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, we'll go back to golf course report. I see Mr. Fusco is here. Dave, you don't have a report though, correct?
No, I do not.
Would you like me to announce that we're going to open the range?
Tomorrow, and possibly we'll make a decision about opening this Monday, about what day we will open.
Okay, so the range will be open tomorrow, in the morning, I'm assuming?
Yep.
So our driving range will be open in the morning to get your practice in, and then we're hoping for a nice rainy, warm day tomorrow, I believe. Heavy rains and warm Thursday, to get rid of the rest of the snow that we have on the course. So hopefully another week for our course, which isn't so bad considering some of the winter. Correspondence? No correspondence? Okay, number 2 on the agenda. Number 2 on the agenda is approval of sale of a 2006 Crown Victoria from the Police Department to the Parks Department. I know this is something we always do. Chief, the money that usually goes into that is used for equipment and new cars going forward. That meeting's going to have to move to the hall.
Mr. Advisor, that item you're speaking about, item number 2, to transfer between the departments, as you said. Normally what we do is we auction those things. When equipment restricted, and that money is utilized to purchase roof racks, lighting, installations from East Town Communications, as you stated.
Okay, very good. And I do know that if you look at number 3, guys, before we vote on number 2, that money will be, from the Parks Department going to the police line, will come from the sale of the surplus vehicle underneath the building. So I'll make form of a motion to surplus the 2006 Crown Victoria from the police department to the Parks Department.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 3 is, as I just said, it's a request to surplus the vehicles from the Building and Grounds Department. It's a 1999 Ford Taurus, a 2000 Chevy Jeep K3, and a 2004 Ford CV.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 4 is to rehire the summer help for our Parks Department. The 4 gentlemen, our names in front of us, are all returning, and Mr. Odell on the bottom also works as our pool operator as well.
Make a motion.
Okay, there's been a motion
Second motion.
and a second to rehire the 4 people for the Parks Department as seasonal workers at the salaries listed. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 5 is to approve a purchase vehicle lift. This is why we kind of jumped through there. This is for a Mohawk, what is it called? I'm sorry? Yeah, it's a lift for the car. It's under New York State contract, number PC 64743 for a total of $16,350.80. And that is a budgeted item that was bonded for, correct? And will be bonded, I should say, yes.
Is that a movable item, or is that going to be?
It's,
In the
I guess, no, it's in the garage. It's in the garage.
Fixed.
Yeah, where they fix the trucks and stuff. The one that's in there is not passing inspection. Okay, so, did we get a motion here?
We'll make a motion.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And number 6 is number 6 is the same. It's a purchase of a tire changer that was budgeted and will be bonded for. However, this is going to go under the contract, NJP. Yeah, I know it's not New Jersey, Pennsylvania, but that's how I remember it. What is it called? National Joint something. Thank you. This is a new company that it's like a state bid that all the towns are hopping on now, so that's for a total of $12,263.06. As I said, this is a budgeted item that was in our budget and bonded for. I'll make that in form of a motion.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Number 7, approve 2015 highway school. This is for Mr. Gersing, I believe, right, Larry? To attend the the highway school at Ithaca College on June 1st through the 3rd of 2015. Back to high school, Larry. I'll make that in form of a motion to send Mr. Gersing.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 8, building and facilities improvements. This is for the police. This is a request to utilize the building and facilities fund for a new heat exchanger for the police department, with a total of $3,755. I know we had some emergency repair over the winter, but the heat broke. This is something we want to get fixed before it gets into, replaced, I should say, not the one we fixed, to replace it before air conditioning season starts. And I was suggesting, instead of just putting it through a purchase order, that we go through the buildings and facilities fund. However, we do have the 30-day window that we have to wait for. So this is going to be an item, we're going to request to utilize the $3,755 from the building and facilities improvement fund in the form of a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. And again, that will go through after 30 days, you'll see that come through as a purchase order as well.
Second motion.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Number 9, building and facilities improvements for the hot box. This is the same request for a different item. Back before the winter, last winter we had a few pipes freeze up, and we call it a hot box. I don't know the exact name, but they're calling it up here at Lecture property. However, when they went in, I believe that total was around $24,000. Don't quote me, but it's up there, $24,500. That was repaired. Went through this, but when they got in there, they found out there was 2 more valves that had to be replaced that were frozen, and for a total of another $6,500. That is a request to take out of the buildings and facilities improvements as well. That will be a 30-day window, just like what Chief Moore just went through. So I'll make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And number 10, North Rockland High School Academy of Finance. We've been very fortunate that over the last 3 or 4 years, we have an internship through the Academy of Finance through Pam Schaefer at the high school. We have been very fortunate to get a great worker every time. And again, we'll be doing it this summer. It's a 6-week course, I believe. I believe it was 6, right? It's a 6-week course. They work 4 hours a day, 9 to 1 every day. And they help out not only our finance department, but our assessor's office, my office, wherever he's needed, or she. They do a great job. Make that a form of motion to, for the new North Rockland High School Academy.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 11, landscape maintenance for Patriot Hills Clubhouse. Anybody else got their there's 4 quotes here, as we normally do. Just we go with the lowest run. There's Dave. This is you. This is you. If anybody has any questions for Dave, I solicited 4 quotes for landscape maintenance at the Patriot Hills Clubhouse. It's a service that we use annually, and it's extremely important for our presentation of the clubhouse, as well as to the caterer to sell weddings and other functions. Lowest bid here is the Ferguson Landscape and Construction for a total of for the 2 years of $14,480.
I'll make the motion to accept.
Okay, there's a motion, and I'll second it. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Dave, that's the same company that does it up there, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and I know they do a great job when they do so. Number 12, discuss August, December meetings. Oh, that's why it's not here. We usually, in the beginning of the year, do this, but we kind of, I don't know how we did it, but we forgot. We always, well, I shouldn't say always, I think always. We cancel our second meeting in August, and we usually cancel our second meeting in December as well. I believe this year it's like the 23rd or something.
25th of August,
Yeah.
22nd.
So the two, oh yeah, that's right, if it's okay with the board to cancel both meetings again, like I said, we usually do this in January where it's up by. So I'll make an informal motion to cancel the second meeting, which is August 25th in August, and the second meeting in December, which is the 22nd.
Make the motion.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And lastly, number 13 is a request for the Town Clerks Conference, which I don't know how I'm not having papers. Anyway, I know it's not you. I'm requesting permission to attend the 2015 conference of the New York State Town Clerks Association in Rochester, New York, April 26th to the 29th. Costs approximately $1,200 for conference registration, hotel, meals, and travel. Attendance at this conference is vital in keeping abreast of the changes and updates that occur throughout the year. In addition, this is the only conference designed exclusively for the education and professional growth of New York State Town Clerks.
Make the motion.
There's been a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. No add-ons?
Purchase orders.
Oh, yes, we have to go back to the purchase orders.
I'll make the motion to accept purchase orders as submitted.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second for the purchase orders. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And make a motion to go into executive session for personnel matters, and there will be no votes after. Motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.